What's up, guys? We're gonna BroBeatzTV. Today I want to be showing you guys how to make some easy trap beats. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is gonna be super easy. So first we're just gonna go ahead and grab in a scale so you can kind of see what's going on. We're at 155 BPM. You could choose any BPM you want for this. It will all work. It's universal. So let's go ahead and I think honestly we could just do a basic, just a C minor for this. Okay. So we'll do a C minor. Boom. So the sound we're going to be using is this sound. All sounds will be linked in the description if you want to check them out. So we're going to use this crossover bell. Okay. So first we just want to make some chords. Now you really want to put time into this because if you do it well enough, you won't really have to do much later in the post. And I'm going to change this to a beat just so it looks a little bit better. So I'm going to just show you a little trick. This is a really easy trick. Is if you want to make like a trap beat or like a dark rap beat or something, you want to start on the root and then you just want to go backwards. So you would make a chord usually like this. You would go up, skip every other note like so. Okay, and that sounds perfectly fine. But what we want to do is go backwards. So we're going to do this. And as you see, this is also a minor chord. And then all you want to do from here is just move things over. So you can decide which notes you want to move over. If you want it to look like this, that's fine. If you want it to look like this, that's perfectly fine. It's completely up to you. And we can also change up some of the notes. So how do you go about changing up the notes? Typically, I would take whatever's in the middle and move it around within the scale. Okay, so if we switched it like this, it would pretty much be the same, right? But well, let's actually, if we like flipped it like this, right? Then this note I will move around, and this is just a quick way around like music theory. So yeah, let's go ahead and I'm gonna just kind of pick a pattern that I like. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna use something like that, and we're gonna split them up, and I'm gonna just pull this down. So this is gonna be our little pattern. And hopefully you can hear that. So that is our bass line. So all you really need to do from here is just take these notes, take these, pull them up an octave, and then now you start playing around with the notes and stuff. So you could just make the chord and then you can recolor it. So recoloring it, to put it simply, just move some of the notes around, see what you like. You can add notes. All right, that sounds fine. Okay, we don't need the C apparently, so yeah, just something there. And let's make a chord up from here. And then if you want to, you can do the same thing. You can start like adding stuff in, right? And then I'm gonna pull this up an octave, not an octave, but I'm gonna make a chord out of this like so. So I'm not gonna go here, I'll go here. I'm gonna pull it down, all right? And then you could delete this if you want it to look cleaner. It's really up to you. And I'm gonna offset this a bit like so. What do we want to do here? I think, let's see. So I might need to go outside the scale on this. Might need to mess around with like a diminished. So this is what a diminished will look like. Okay, so if you want to know like what chords are what, FL has scales and stuff you can use. So you can go to stamps and it'll show you like what a diminished looks like, as you can see, right? So if you're not sure about something or you think something looks weird, you can check your work by going to like the stamps as well, right? So you can try to see what works. So I'm gonna use this. Let's actually pull these down. I think that sounds fine. Now, yes, it's outside the scale. I'm not going to talk about how that's possible because it's just a lot to talk about right now, but I think this is good for our chords. So, oops. All right, so pretty easy. Let's go ahead and move on to our counter melody. Now that we have our chords made, everything else should be super easy from here. So here we have this sine waver sound. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of make this an accent, or you can call it like a counter, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter as long as there's notes. So we're just gonna add to this because I think this is perfectly fine, right? Usually with like rap, trap beats, you want to go simple most of the time, at least. So we're gonna go in here, and I'm gonna actually change this to 1/4 beat. Okay. And we can just obviously start on C and just pick where we want to go. So I'm gonna Control D that, or Shift D that, my bad. And just listen to where we want to put this. And let's pull that up, obviously. I'm gonna try to keep this zoomed in for you. And then yeah, from here you can just kind of play around with this, right? And then you can make a chord upwards from here. All right, sounds perfectly fine. And then, I don't know, let's take this and we can just make something out of this. Make a chord out of this upward, so you can see this pattern. So you start somewhere, right? And then you can make a chord upward from the next note you place. It's just all different types of combos you can do, but I'm just kind of doing what I think, so, right. So like right here, we can go back down. So maybe we can take this, flip it. Let me see. Let's offset it so it's not so like perfect. And then make a chord backwards this way. Okay, I like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to hold Alt and shrink them down a bit so they're not lingering too much. Okay, I like that a bit more. So I think that's gonna be kind of our main melody here, okay? And then we can put this on bar so it repeats. So that's our melody. I think what we can do now is just add a little bit of effects on top before we start our 808 and kick. Now we just have some effects on here. Now I didn't go too heavy. I just went something very basic that everyone can kind of do, right? Just effects that everyone has, like halftime, you know, pitching things up or down. So this is the setup that I went with. It's nothing crazy, right? This is what it sounds like now. Okay, and this is what it sounds like with everything on. Right, you just kind of samplify it, just make it kind of dusty, right? So basically what you would do in your DAW, you would take both of your instruments and you would send them to a bus or like an open track. In FL, you can right click and then you can go to track routing, and then route select to this track only. And then they will obviously, as you can see, be routed to this track, okay? So I'll just show you the setup. So we have an EQ first to kind of contain some of the lows, push out some of those highs. Why do we push out the highs? Well, we're gonna be adding drums. So we want the drums to be more clear, so we just take out a little bit of the highs so those have space. Very simple. And then a halftime, 1/4. Didn't touch anything else, okay? And then also after that, okay, so after the halftime, I put an elastic pitch. So you can use any plugin for this, but I pitched it up 12, okay? So this is what's making it have that like weird, like that kind of movement, that weird movement in it. Right. I don't know if it'll play. So that's what's giving it that like weird sound. So yeah, just pitched it up, and then obviously you can hear the delay. So this is the setup. I can't really explain. It's just kind of a preset. So basically you want to put this feedback. So the feedback on high pass, and then mess around with the cutoff. So mine is pretty much halfway through, and then just play with the wetness. Everything else is just, I'm not even using this, but yeah, that's pretty much what I have here. Okay, and that's giving it that like gate effect, and then that's it. And then I just took out some more of the lows just to clean it up. So that is our melody. Let's go ahead and head over to our low end. Now for the super easy part, we're gonna go ahead and add the drums. First, we're gonna start the low end, I guess the 808 and kick, and I could actually make these a little bit darker just so we can tell the difference. All right, so let's go here, and we're just gonna copy this bass line, and this is why the 808s are really easy, because you just copy this over. So C, F, G, okay, and then F, G. And well, I guess we could leave this one here. I'm gonna pull this up. And then usually with simple beats like this, one tip that I have is to just try to come up with a unique 808 pattern, because this is a very simple melody. You want the 808 to kind of stand out. So we could do, I kind of like that actually. Let's roll with this, and then we can like, and just kind of repeat this rhythm. Okay, and then I'm just gonna pull these up. And then it just rinse and repeats, and we'll just copy this to our kick. Okay, and then we're gonna hold Control A and then Alt K, and then you would right click this to put it on a specific note, accept. And then for me personally, I like to pull the kick all the way up, and then I like to copy it, okay, and pull it down one, literally one, not two, one. And then you can mess with the velocity here, and this is how you make your kick fat without adding effects. I'll turn it up a little bit more. I don't want it to be too distorted, so I'm gonna leave it. And I wish this red would go away. All right, so now we're just gonna put this on bar. So now we're just gonna go ahead and throw in our drums, and we'll be done. Now we're gonna go ahead and throw in our drums. Now I went ahead and changed the color of these because I felt like that color I chose was a little too bright. So yeah, we're gonna kind of play around with some of these drums. So I'm gonna just close all this so we can really focus on this. And all we really need to do is just find a decent like snare pattern. I think we can play around with like the hi-hat right here. And I hate ruining the end, but we only have really like one melody, so I mean, I guess the end of the beat is gonna be ruined no matter what, but I guess we could just play like this. We could just put that, actually I'm gonna put this at 32 so it doesn't repeat over and over. I'm gonna turn it down slightly. I'm gonna pan it. Okay, and then maybe we could throw this one in. I'm gonna pull this one over. So you can kind of place your instruments in space depending on the volume and the panning, right? So just think of it like a room. So if it's all the way to the left, and I'm gonna just show you what I mean real quick. Okay, so let's say this is a room, okay, and this is your sound, or this is you, right? So you have basically all this space around you, okay? So when you pan something all the way to the left or right, okay, it's pretty much just going, let's just do this. It's pretty much going like this. But when you turn the volume down, it can go this way, right? Now you got the front and the back, but typically when you go to the left and down, it will kind of fade out. And that's kind of how you can do it. That's not exactly how it works, but that's how you can visualize it in terms of panning. Again, it's not like the technical, but it's just like a dumb way of doing it, but yeah. you can see when I turn it down, it feels like it's kind of going in the back. Right, so yeah, I like that. I'm gonna keep it. Let's just pull this in. I think that's good for the drums, and I think we can just listen to the full beat once or twice through. I would probably add a bunch of effects in the playlist with this, because this is a very simple beat, very smooth. You could probably even add more instruments, but I think for our bass beat here, this is perfectly fine. So let's listen to it. Make sure we have, okay, we have our little mix, and I'll just show you this. It's just a simple little mix here. I'm probably gonna turn this up a little bit more. And of course, our little soft clipper. So yeah, basic stuff. That's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.